Happening today, opening statements are set to begin inside a Riverhead courtroom in the highly emotional case of a Wading River Boy Scout who was killed back in 2018, allegedly by a drunk driver. 60-year-old Thomas Murphy of Holbrook has previously pleaded not guilty to all charges contained in a 16-count indictment. It was on September 30th of last year when Suffolk County prosecutors say the defendant struck and killed 12-year-old Andrew Morris as he walked with his Boy Scout troop along David Terry Road in Manorville. Prosecutors are expected to enter into evidence that Murphy refused a breathalyzer test at the scene, but later had a blood alcohol content of 0.13, well over the legal limit. A jury of 7 men and 5 women finally seated on Friday, with Judge Fernando Camacho informing the panel the trial should last between 3 to 5 weeks. Also happening today, the highly publicized case of Suffolk County's former district attorney. He goes on trial this morning. Tom Spoda is accused of a cover-up in the investigation of then Suffolk Police Chief James Burke. It was in 2012 that Burke was found to have assaulted Christopher Loeb after discovering that his police vehicle was broken into. Now, the feds say Spoda interfered with the probe, and Burke eventually pleaded guilty in 2015, sentenced to 46 months in prison. Spoda and top aide Christopher McPartland are each facing 4 felonies. They each could face up to 20 years behind bars if convicted, but would probably receive a lesser sentence under federal sentencing guidelines. There's been a second arrest by Nassau County Police following a spree of supermarket purse snatchings that targeted elderly women. This is the spree's alleged accomplice, Renee Overstreet, heading to arraignment early this morning from police headquarters in Mineola. It was back in July when detectives first released security video of what was thought to be a lone suspect. The man would allegedly distract victims before stealing purses and pocketbooks from their shopping carts. That store video was credited with the capture of 57-year-old Frank Rodriguez of Far Rockaway. Here's a list of the 3 supermarkets Rodriguez allegedly targeted between March and July of this year, with the Best Market in Great Neck Plaza victimized on 3 occasions. Meanwhile, Overstreet is believed to have used credit cards stolen during the spree and is being charged with identity theft, criminal possession of stolen property, and forgery. Today and tomorrow, LIVEABLOCK will be hammering out its budget for next year at workshops taking place in both Nassau and Suffolk counties. Fox 1's Ron Lee is in Hicksville with more on how much your bill could be going up. Monday morning surprise announcement from Representative Peter King that he won't run for re-election in 2020 has the Long Island Republicans and Democrats considering several candidates. The powerful 14-term Republican congressman cited a desire to spend more time with his family for his decision. A 75-year-old Seaford resident telling our Cecilia Dowd he called President Trump before going public with his decision.
It was a pleasant conversation. He was a little surprised and disappointed at the beginning. He asked me to reconsider several times, but I told him I thought this was the best thing to do. I told him why, and he understood.
We thought he'd be around forever, so it's just going to be a new chapter, and we hope that there's somebody who's dedicated to our community that takes his place.
The Cook Political Report describes the 2nd District, which covers a large portion of both Nassau and Suffolk counties, as one of the most competitive in the nation. Luba Gretchen Shirley, who narrowly lost to King in 2018, and Babylon Town Councilwoman Jackie Gordon are among the early contenders on the Democratic side, while Suffolk County Legislative Minority Leader Tom Silmy has told Newsday he intends to explore a run. A traditional Veterans Day event in Massapequa, where those who serve the community rolled up their sleeves to help those who served in defense of our nation. Island Harvest, the Nassau County PBA and the Nassau County Police Department collecting bags of food as part of their annual Operation Hope event. In Nassau County alone, it is believed that there are more than 5,000 veterans who are homeless or what's described as housing insecure.
There are more veterans here on Long Island than almost anywhere in the state and perhaps even in the country. We need to do more to help our veterans.
The veterans deserve it. Whatever we can give them, they deserve. My dad was a veteran, and I'm very happy to give.
Well, the group handed out more than 8,000 tons of food last year to vets and their families on the island. As Chief Meteorologist Brian Fitzgerald has been saying, the cold is on its way. Coming up, we're not the only ones dealing with this unusually cold fall pattern. That story coming up. You're watching FiOS 1, the Morning Edition.